Hello, my name is Serena and I'm here to help tell you about how to send a fax. I noticed that there was a need for this training when I realized that there were only 4 people in my office that knew how to send a fax. So what are the fax? Being able to send a fax is a fundamental skill when you work in an office setting. In particular, I've noticed that in education and higher education, the concept of sending a fax is very much still alive and present. Therefore, I created this presentation to demonstrate 3 steps that are relatively universal when using a fax machine, as well as some important fax etiquette. If anything, these skills can help the younger generation impress some of the veterans in their office. The fax machine can sometimes be overlooked as a printer or an old telephone. On the screen, you can see several variations of what a fax machine can look like. These machines come in all shapes and sizes and can typically be recognized by several key features, including a phone attachment, keypad, dial screen, a send fax button, as well as a send and receive tray. So how do you send a traditional fax? Let's look at the process. The first step is to have the document that you want to send and place the document on the feeder tray or the send tray. This tray will look similar to printer trays or paper trays seen on printers. Also, always include a cover sheet when sending a professional fax. The cover sheet will help you to notify the individual on the receiving end of the main purpose of the fax. It should include information such as the date, number of pages, the sender's name and contact information, who the fax is intended for, as well as the description of the purpose of the fax. You can identify the feeder tray by the icons below. These also demonstrate the correct way to place the document in the tray, whether it is face up or face down. Make sure to pay attention to these symbols, for if you put the paper in incorrectly, you can end up sending a blank piece of paper. The second step is to enter the fax number that you are sending to. This will be different from the regular phone number for the intended recipient. It is very important to make sure that you include any external extensions as well as the international codes to make sure the fax sends to the correct recipient. For example, in my office, you must dial a 7 before including the international code and area code of a phone number that is not within the office. I have included a sample of what a number would look like if I was sending a fax from my office. I will dial a 7, then a 1 if it is a US phone number, followed by the area code and the 7-digit fax number. The last step, step 3, is to press send and wait for a confirmation that your fax has been sent by the machine. The send fax button could also be labeled as start, fax, or go, but is usually depicted by this symbol shown in the image. Make sure that you always take your original document after you are finished sending a fax. And voila! Your fax has been sent. In addition to the fax tips listed in the 3 steps, such as including a cover letter and taking your documents, it is important to remember a few more details that makes sending a fax a smoother process. This includes picking up the phone and calling the recipient after sending a fax in order to get a confirmation that the information has been received and is or will be given to the correct individual. It is also very important to know when not to fax. This includes private, confidential, or sensitive information, since due to the nature of the fax, more than one individual could end up seeing the document. If your fax has a very specific recipient, you can call beforehand in order to inform them that you are going to send a fax that is specific for their attention. Also, when sending a fax, remember that patience is a virtue. Be patient with yourself and others that may not be familiar with faxing. This could also be a wonderful occasion for you to demonstrate your new faxing skills and lend a helping hand. Included on this slide are the links to where the images were found. I would like to thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope that you have gained new skills on how to use a fax machine no matter what size or shape. Have a great day.